What is up, guys? Yeah, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. What's going on, guys? It's Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear. It just couldn't pull it off. I just couldn't. Today we are going to be talking about, if you don't already know by that little intro there, the Wee Banter, designed by Mr. Ben Peterson himself. Super interesting little knife. You're like, Kyle, this is not your thing. You would be correct. But stay tuned. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, the Wee Banter. Ben Peterson. Ben Peterson is basically an icon in the industry now, best known for his appearances and creating knife banter on Blade HQ. And yes, I am one of the ones who watched that constantly. It was a great show, especially when Ben was there. Zach is cool. Kurt was cool. But now it's all kind of changed and stuff. I haven't watched it for a while. It's probably still good, but whenever Ben was there, it was absolutely great. Damn this camera. Sorry. It keeps wanting to move on me. But yeah, Ben was always really fun to watch. He's handled thousands and thousands of knives working for companies like Blade HQ. And so he decided, he's no longer with Blade HQ, but he decided to design his own knife. And that is the result of this, the Wee Banter. So if you did watch him on Knife Banter, Blade HQ, then you will know that me and him did not jive as far as what we like in knives. Which is totally cool, right? I mean, everybody has their thing. Ben was a smaller knife guy. He had his finger test, which we'll see if I can do. He liked deep carry pocket clips. He liked Ben Blue, which is what this is in. So he was a smaller knife guy, very utilitarian. That he wanted the simple designs and whatnot, which is totally cool. I think the Pilar was one of his favorite knives, if I'm remembering correctly. So yeah, I respect the fact that we are different. So whenever this knife first came out, it didn't really tickle my fancy. And it was one of those knives where I'm like, okay, well, it's small. I've got big hands. But I started seeing all the reviews about it. This knife's been out for a while. But I started seeing a bunch of reviews and people that I know and respect and stuff just talking about this thing like it is awesome. And so my buddy, my brother, Mr. Knives Fast, Casey over there, sent me a few knives. This was one of them. And I really am very excited, or was very excited, to get it in hand and pocket. And after carrying it, this is a wonderful, wonderful tool. It really is. Now, yeah, it's small. As you can see, it has this very rectangular shape to it. There's not a lot going on here. It is made by Wee, and Wee makes very good products. So that's good. I mean, it is just a plain Jane, but it's using S35VN steel, very neutral handle, that in my big old meat hooks, yeah, my pinky does kind of come off here. But it's not that bad. You guys know me, if you watch my channel, when I have small knives, I prefer to have a forward finger choil. And if this knife had a forward finger choil, I believe it would just be spectacular for me. The fact that it doesn't, it's still a neutral enough handle, and even though my pinky's falling off back here, it's still very usable. It does have this little bit of jimping here that's not useful at all, because I just don't know anybody who would have their thumb back here. Maybe, but when I'm using this knife, it's in a saber grip like this, and it's really not bad. It's pretty comfortable for a small knife for a guy that has big hands like me. The grind on it. So he wanted an EDC knife that he would want to carry, and he nailed it out of the park for that. And I think a lot of people are going to like it, and do like it. I mean, these things are super, super popular. One of his things was the finger test. He wanted a knife, and he always did this finger test because he was always kind of helping his daughter, his kids out with crafts and stuff. And so being able to put your point right there, get down, do some detailed work, that's super cool. I totally understand that. And of course, with my big old hands, I mean, I can kind of go past it, but get my finger on there. So in a little pinch grip, it's comfortable in most grips. So I like that. This is a liner lock, and I think it's very well done. The liner is only on one side. You've got one side of just a slab of G10 and then the liner lock on the other side. I think it's fine. It's still very, very sturdy because the G10 slabs are actually pretty thick. So you're not having to worry about stability, which this knife is an EDC knife. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. Knife was made to just be a tool in your pocket to do the everyday tasks that you come across, opening boxes, maybe some zip ties, some cardboard, and that's it. It's not a hard use outdoor folder. He wasn't trying to make it that, and I appreciate that. He was trying to make a good EDC knife for everybody to carry. It's relatively lightweight. It's not like, bug out weight or anything, but it's very, very lightweight. The shining feature on this knife is the thumb stud action. I was blown away whenever I first got this out and flick that thumb stud. The thumb stud action is amazing. I mean, it flies out, and other people have said it too, it flies out like it is assisted. So if you like thumb stud knives and you're looking for a good EDC tool, this thing is actually kind of fidgety because the thumb stud flips out like crazy, and then the closing action, just a little shake shut. It's really not that bad. I was so surprised on how much fun I had using the thumb studs. I think it's great. Another thing I do like a lot, you see the liner there for the liner lock, how it sits proud. That makes it so easy to disengage this knife. There's a couple of knives. Actually, I don't have it. The one gripe I have with my Giant Mouse Ace Grand was the access to the lock bar. It's not that easy it's not bad. I mean, I love that knife, but the access to the lock bar is not great. This thing is amazing to get your thumb in there and just close this knife. Like I said, I mean, as far as the action, it's Wii. So Wii does really good stuff. So I really like that. I like that it's proud there. It is jimped, but it actually does help with the grip. It's not sharp. So when you are squeezing on this, it's not bad at all. The pocket clip is nearly perfect, I think, for everybody's preferences. It is deep carry. The pocket clip is inset into the G10 using flathead countersunk screws. I mean, you can't really get much better than that. It does have this shape, where instead of coming straight down and kind of swooping up, it goes like this and then comes down to a spoon. Not a big deal. It's definitely not a hot spot in my big old hands. It goes in and out of pocket really, really well. And then, of course, it sits so deep that you just don't know you have a knife in your pocket. The blade size of this, I think, is good for a lot of people, too, because there's still a lot of states in this country and then, of course, abroad in other countries where you're not allowed to carry a knife over 3 inches. Oh, stupid. But anyways, if you are one of those and you live in one of those states, this knife is really, really nice. I mean, I know there's some other laws about locking knives and blah, 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 you fucking idiots. But this is a under 3-inch knife, so in a lot of those places, you will be able to carry this, and what is it, 2.875 on the blade length. So you're not going to have to worry about a cop not liking you. It's definitely under the 3 inches. So EDC tool, it nails it. It really does. Now, this configuration is in the Ben Blue. They do have a blacked out version where this black G10 and black blade, kind of like a stone wash, and it has instead of this black thumb stud, which I'm not actually, a lot of people say they like, I just don't think it looks all that great with blue, kind of a blasted finish on the blade and then this black thumb stud. I almost would rather have it satin or something, but the black one with a black blade has a anodized blue thumb stud. If I was to get one, it would be that one. I really like the way that thing looks. But, it's got a black pocket clip. It's really cool. I think it looks really, really, really nice. So, yeah, I was very, very surprised. This is definitely a backup knife for me. You guys know, and we've already said that I like the bigger knives. But I do like to carry a backup knife, secondary knife, whatever you want to call it. I think it's a good idea, especially when I'm carrying as a primary one of my more expensive folders. And, that I'm using, and if somebody else wants to borrow a knife, I would hand them my secondary. And it could be a number of the knives that we're probably going to do some size comparisons on. This is excellent for that. Something that I'm not going to worry about. The price on these is okay. It's like $108 for S35VN G10 deep carry pocket clip. I'm okay with that price. I think it's worth it. WE does a really good job. However, I do think they probably could have got that price down a little bit more. The only reason I think that it is up there above $100 is because it's a Ben Peterson design. So you got WE, you got Ben, you got a couple people getting in the pot here because one of my favorite knives, which is it's a Farron Forge design but made by WE, is the Farron Forge Stinger. It was under $100. Now it's Nitro V, not S35VN, but I still think they could have got the price down. Not that I'm saying the price is bad. I think the price is okay. It's just, it's a plain Jane kind of knife. And if that's what you're looking for with a tool with a very good steel, S35VN gets a bad rap, guys. S35VN, I think, is a great all-around steel. It is kind of getting boring now with all the super steels that's coming out there. But as far as a steel that's very well-rounded, S35VN is great. Something that you're going to use every day. It's easy enough to sharpen, but it does hold an edge pretty good. I think it's a great choice for this. Of course, they use a lot of S35VN. Of course, they use a lot of N390 too, and I like that still better. But for the price that you're paying, I think it's okay. I think it's fine. This freaking thing is a tool, and it cuts. It's like 15 thousandths behind the edge. It slices amazingly. So that's what you want, right? If you're buying a knife for a tool to carry around and cut. I mean, I'm a collector and enthusiast, so there's a lot of knives that I have that may not fit that bill, but I like other things about them. This one is definitely a cutter. Holy moly. It is very good. Now, you will see that the thumb stud gets in the cutting path there. It's not a big deal. It's not that bad, but it is a thing. If you're going through big, heavy cuts of cardboard or something, it could snag on that thumb stud. It's not a big deal. The only other thing that I might have a problem with is, well, actually, it's not. I mean, most of the hardware on this thing is a T8, and then you have T6s for the clip screw. That's not a bad thing. It's fine. It's very simple design. So you have the pivot screw, which is a T8, and then you have three body screws total. And so, yeah, very simple design, very easy to take apart and clean. I did not do that. It's not my knife. But yeah, it is dead centered. The action is just amazing. So let's go ahead and put it up against some of the other smaller knives I have in my collection. There's not many. I actually have one that has come in for review that we will also compare it to. And let's take a closer look at the WE Banter. All right. So let's get some specs, shall we? This thing is not big. It's pretty small, especially for somebody like me. You have an overall length of 6.5 inches. 6.5 inches is definitely pushing it for a knife that I will consider carrying, even for a secondary, but it works. It works. My pinky comes off like we were showing, back here whenever I'm holding this knife. I don't have a place to choke up. So it works. It's just not ideal for my big hands. If you have smaller hands than me, I guarantee you this would be very comfortable in the hand. And like I said before, a 2.875 inch blade under the 3 inches. That's great. The blade width is very nice at 1 inch because I like this tall blade. It gives this flat grind or saber grind enough area to get 15 thousandths behind the edge. Come on, that is just really, really nice. Spear point blade, and it is this blasted finish. Like I said, the other one is the black one is kind of like a black stonewash, which looks amazing with the blue thumb stud. I might even see if I can put a picture here. I really like that design. CPM S35VN, and it is about handle length of 3.625 with a handle width of 1.15. So it's, I like that. I like the design that he did it where it's not too thin because it does fill out the hands. So I like the fact that it's a little bit thicker here. You can see kind of compared to the Quiet Carrier Waypoint, you've got a little bit more width, which makes this more comfortable in the hand. than this waypoint. We'll do some more size comparisons in a second. And then it is relatively thin this way, which is, but not too thin, like I said, which is just a hair under a half inch. I think it's like 455 thousandths. So, it's a really nice carry and profile, especially coupled with this deep carry clip. I really, really like it. Just so you can see, this side of the blade is sterile. This side of the blade does have the "What is up, guys" logo there. And then, of course, you have Banter on the pocket clip. So, minimal branding on this thing, except for, the typical "we" on the pivot, which is totally fine like that. All right, so let's go ahead and put it up against the Para 3. Now, the Para 3 is about, like I said, usually the smallest knife that I will carry, and as you can see, it is smaller than the Para 3. The reason I like the Para 3 is because of this finger control. It allows me to get my hand all the way around, my big hands around this knife. So this knife to me is a lot more comfortable in hand and something that I'm more willing to carry. However, the Banter is not a bad choice, okay? This is just my personal preference. Do not get mad, guys. My personal preference, because of my big hands, is a forward finger control, and so that's what I prefer. Let's go ahead and put it up against the Forge Stinger. Sorry, trying to get these lined up. Forge Stinger, as you can see, it is still a lot smaller than the Forge Stinger, and the Forge Stinger also has that forward finger control, which I like. However, I kind of wish the Stinger was a little bit wider here, just like the Banter. I think it would be even better, but the carry profile on that knife is also very good. So yeah, it's just take it, one of those things you can't have it all, right? Not for somebody with my big hand size. Here it is against the very slim quiet carry waypoint. Obviously a much larger knife with a lot of cutting edge there. Cutting edge on the wee Banter is about what it is on the Para 3, so that's nice. And then, of course, one that you will see a review on very, very soon. Here it is against the Spyderco Bombshell, a.k.a. the Danger Pickle. I am getting ready to do my review on this, guys. I've got to get it back to Jake because he's got to do a collection video. But as you can see, they're similar. The Bombshell is just a little bit longer, definitely a funkier shape. But as far as thickness, the Bombshell is a pretty thick boy. As you can see, definitely a lot thicker there. I do prefer the pocket clip versus on the Bombshell, even though the Bombshell, I think, carries very well. So, yeah, one of those, it's just a knife that I think, as far as EDC and most people that are maybe not knife people, will really, really enjoy. I think so. I think it'd make a great gift for a non-knife person because it's no frills. Like I said, I am a knife enthusiast and collector, so when I first saw this, it did not do it for me. I did not want to buy this knife. Would I buy this knife now to add to my collection? Probably not. But if I was looking for a tool to have and to carry every single day, I would totally pick a knife like this. I think the price is fair enough. I still think they could have got it down just so you can see the actual weight here. If I can get this to work. So it's very lightweight. This is something that you can carry in almost any pocket. It's 2.8. I think they said it was 2.6 on the paper here. My scale's going to get 2.8. Very lightweight. I could carry this in basketball shorts, sweatpants, or whatever I am wearing at that time. So yeah, all in all, guys, I can totally recommend this knife, especially if you have smaller hands, remember. But even if you have big hands and you're looking for a tool like this, this is something definitely to look at. For $108, it's worth it. It's worth it, guys. So I appreciate everybody for stopping by. Definitely go check out Mr. Knives Fast at his channel. I will have it linked down below. I also have a link for this knife down below for whoever retailer, wherever they're in stock. Of course, if you're watching this a long time from now, it might not be, you know that rule. So, guys, I love you all. Stay safe in this crazy world that we are living in, and we will see you in the next one.